Basement Bookers Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast. It's your boy, Basement Chair, the reigning, defending basement champion, which basically means after the pay per view, one of us gets better than the other one. And that just so happened to have been me. How dare anybody choose against the Rhodes Fellowship? Speaking of, Rich the Riz, how are you? Welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast.
I'm good,
Former
bro.
basement champion who has had a streak going.
Once and future champion. Thank you. I'm
You're
good.
fake news. I'm glad you're good because you're also fake news. You will not be a future champion. All right, because come Royal Rumble, right? That's next, I get, right? That's got to be it.
Rumble or Chamber? I think Rumble.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're already announcing themselves.
I think Chamber is like, yeah, there. Cody Rhodes has indeed announced himself for the Royal Rumble, and I assume you too have announced yourself for the Royal Rumble. Is that true? Are you gonna make this public now, or are you gonna wait? Or
I
is
think
the
I'm gonna
Cody's
wait a little bit.
okay? So
I
it's
want, like, I
just
want them to wonder if I'll be in it,
if you have finally come out of non-retirement.
right? You know, I might be that NXT guy that's gonna be in that U.S. title number one contendership tournament. You never know.
Well, you just buried the lead. Now, now you're gonna divide the fan base because now it's like, well, it'd be great if he was in the Royal Rumble because think about what he could do there. And then I'm like, yeah, but he even ready for like what the Royal Rumble entails? Wouldn't like the United States Championship blim blam, wouldn't that be the best move for him? It's like, I don't know. And then there's some on that. It's like, no, man, after Royal Rumble, come do this. And but what if he's doing both? What is the likelihood of that? Now that's out there. Now I've done something terrible. We've both done something horrible. You know, we've promised something that may or may not happen. And I don't apologize for that.
Unapologetically Jer.
That's right. Speaking of apologetic, Rich there is CM Punk. He's back. Something that was never thought to be happen. At some point, CM Punk came off as a guy who thought he was too good for the WWE. Would you
What
agree?
does that even mean?
What does that even
What is
mean?
that? Too good for the single most successful wrestling promotion in the history of the world. What?
I mean, look, the guy came off pretty smug back when he was on the the panel that has like Paige and Renee Young at the time.
Yeah,
Uh
that show.
what was that called? Yeah, WWE Fox thing.
Yeah.
And I think Christian Cage was on there at one point, like he guest maybe hosted or something at one point. He was still
Yeah,
Christian.
yeah, but he wasn't like making fun of dead dads yet, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. So the point was that like I felt like while he was on there, I don't know if he was trying to run an angle, like trying to act good, like enough to make it so like convince the old man to like try to get him to come back to have him wrestle Seth or something.
Hmm.
You know, because like I don't know if you remember those appearances, but it really did come off like he was like too good for you know wrestling and stuff like that. Like maybe him and Seth were doing like a low key, like trying to get an angle going. You know?
Hmm. Well, like you're gonna act that way when you're on the performance enhancing substances that Cancer Man Phil is on, which as we know is fart sniffing.
Right. For people that don't that are new, can you explain what you mean by Cancer Man? Because this
Oh,
way because that's a really charged word. A lot of different connotations with different people. You know what I mean? What do you mean by that? Let the
So
people.
in particular, calling him Cancer Man refers to, well, let's say, second of all, I'll come back to first of all. Second of all, Seth Rollins calling him a cancer in an interview recently, which had to either part of a work or part of Seth, as you said, trying to start an angle.
Phil, stay away, you cancer, get away from me.
But yeah, the entire end of CM Punk's AEW story, all that drama, him just not handling himself professionally. Uh, when you have a veteran, and we know he is a veteran. He's been out of it for 10 years, but he was doing it for 10, 15, I don't know how many exactly years. Before that, he is a veteran. When you have a veteran that just doesn't handle his personal life in a professional manner when in a professional setting, such as during a press conference, backstage with other members of the talent, with junior members of the talent that you're supposed to be setting a goddamn example for, you're not good for the business. You are a cancer.
Where do you get off? In my bedroom, mostly.
There you have it. That's thorough.
Thank you. If
Okay,
you
and
don't
that's
know
what he means by
what the
that.
AEW drama was, just go back a few episodes, go back a couple dozen episodes. We talk about it. Trust me.
You won't hear about it here because there's an NDA. So they can't talk about it. I don't mean here,
Correct.
but like
There.
on TV, like
Yeah.
they won't. Um, both sides can't.
hmm
So that's kind of interesting.
I mean,
Um,
honestly, I think that's smart on Tony Khan's part. That protects the company from literally everything.
so what did you think of his first promo back, which, from what I understand, was cut for time, for Randy? So if that's what the rumor is on the X.
Mm. So
If you want, you can read it if that you
I'm
have it.
I'm looking at my notes on what he said. The only thing particularly of note that he said is that he said everyone's welcoming back with open arms. Well, almost everyone. Obviously, that's an illusion with an A, not an I, to Seth and his. I mean, let's be honest. I kind of had the same reaction, but that's okay. That's how you react when you think you're cancer free and it just comes back. So as far as the rest of the promo, now, I didn't expect him to say anything about AEW, and like even if there wasn't an NDA, like he might have alluded to it. He didn't, but so that
I don't
aside,
know. I'm here to make friend. I'm here to make money. Not. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
kind of a reference to it, but it's also kind of just a mission statement. Also, obviously, his money ran out, so he's hungry.
He doesn't look hungry.
He does. I'll say this. He does look like he's in. But so I'll say better shape than when he was in AEW, and I'm gonna qualify that right now in AEW. Like he looked a little like on the skinny side, maybe a little like frail. He looks like he's bulked up, like put on some chub, but it looks like it's healthy chub. I think he actually looks healthier now than he did just a few months ago in AEW.
He hasn't had his shirt off. What do you mean? Like, what are you basing this off of?
Facial appearance, you could see it in the face and the neck, the arms.
I don't know. I need to see him with his shirt off for sure is. I need to see the shirt off to make comparisons, man. I need to know what's going on.
I hear you. Or
Um,
maybe just seeing him with the shirt on, he looks better than with his shirt off, and that
yeah.
it could be entirely that. I don't know.
You know what? If I was him, I would have put on like 200 pounds, and then just have like the comeback. You know what I mean? Just document that. Like bum ass Corbin, but for
Mm.
real. You know, it doesn't get more bum ass than like
Punk ass punk.
I guess.
It's a little
Uh
redundant.
it's a little reductive looking back. Yeah, I mean they'd be real professionals. You know, Gravy over there and on SmackDown, he didn't seem like anything's going on there. He's just there doing business. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? He's a dad again, and you know he's got things going on. He's not worried about all that stuff.
Hmm.
Good for everybody there. So the rumors around is that eventually, of course, the tribal chief will stack Phil, but like for right now, that's not till later. Maybe
Hmm.
it could be like the tribal chief could be the face, and they could turn Punk heel. You know, or Punk could just be the heel. We don't know what he is actually. He's just a guy who's come back. You know, right now.
I would need a very, very good reason to cheer for him.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's gonna be him and Seth first. Maybe do night one WrestleMania. You know, Phil can get his main event, his WrestleMania main event. He never got to do it.
Hmm.
And if I'm him, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting that right away as soon as possible because even if it's a multi-year deal, you don't know what could happen when you're him. You know, like
The, the,
bad things always seem to happen around or to him.
you know,
So
I know you said you never know what'll happen when you're him, but it sounded like you said when you're hip, and that just is another potential injury for him.
yeah, I mean it is possible. I mean Hogan's had his issues and you know, he's wrestled more times than there is days in a year.
That's right, brother.
Brother, brother.
Mhm.
So yeah, I look forward to that. It's about time, you know.
Mhm.
I that's why I wanted him back is so Roman could pin him. I want him pinned by the tribal chief so we could just keep things going. So he's got all these credible people like they just been beaten. So you can't just be like Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Well, Roman Reigns, because
Mhm.
that's what's gonna happen. Okay, you're gonna have to kiss the ring, and that's the way you do it. You know what I mean?
Question on the timeline, just because
Yeah.
I don't exactly remember, and I could probably relatively easily Wikipedia this, but that's why we're here. So sort of. Uh, what I don't think there was any overlap in AEW with Punk and Cody, was there?
Briefly, I wanted to say briefly
If
because
I
I'm
think
pretty
if there,
sure I saw a photo or something of them hugging in the ring or something. But
mm,
I think briefly, like,
all right. So if there was on-screen interaction, it was limited.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong, but I think, but not enough to wrestle. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not like,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
They
maybe
they
he was
didn't
welcomed there, you know?
they
I
didn't
don't know.
touch, as they say. Guys, if we're wrong, let us know down in the comments below.
Yeah.
So I mean, other than the allusion to Seth and saying he's not here to make friends, he's here to make money. I mean, if anything, that says that he's going to be an asshole backstage here too. Um, he really said a lot of words without actually saying anything.
What happened?
Yeah, he really, other than the statements that he made, like I said, the allusion to Seth and saying he's here to make money, not friends.
He said he's changed and that he's home.
He's changed from what? Changed from what he was originally in WWE to Cancer Man, or changed from Cancer Man back to what he was earlier.
Well, I think if he's acting like he's just been gone, then I think from the last time he was here.
So that could just mean that he's changed from what he was last time he was in WWE to what he is now, a cancer.
Yeah, like what he was at the time when he left.
Mhm.
So, because I think he's doing Vince booking for his own career. It's like, well, if it wasn't here, I guess it never happened legally anyway. So,
Can't
I
talk
mean,
bad
that's how
anyway.
I would do it. I would fresh start, new universe. I mean, just pick up where you left off. I
Hmm.
learned, I changed. I'm a different man now.
I wonder if there's a time limit on this NDA because I am really, really curious what prompted Hangman to go off book. Because that was really the catalyst. That as far as we have seen, that was the catalyst. Whatever prompted that, I think is the real catalyst.
I'll speculate, and
Mhm.
I think Hangman just maybe he heard something, or maybe he's friends with Colt and he doesn't like how CM Punk, treats him or something, and he thought he could just be a big man, go out there and stand up, because like he's gonna confront who he thinks is a bully. And I think that's what happened. And I
And
think,
a hypocrite.
yeah. And so fucking what? Because it's about making money.
Right.
Okay. You guys are there. It's a job. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's what that guy was brought in for, to put asses in seats.
Hmm.
Now, I don't have the math or the numbers. I don't know if that's helped or hurt them. But I can imagine you're not getting the same bump having Adam Copeland out there. As much as
Right.
we may like Edge. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? It's just these two ain't equal. It wasn't the case in WWE, and it ain't the case in AEW.
Hmm.
So,
Like,
why? Yeah.
like Edge was on top. I don't think Edge was ever really the draw in WWE that Punk was.
The big money currently is Christian Cage.
Yeah.
So having Edge here as a foil is perfect. But
Hmm.
what about after that? The eventual reunion? Then what's after that?
Tag titles.
Well, I was including that in the reunion.
Okay.
You head to the tag, you get together, you go for the championships.
Hmm.
Then you're the tag team champions. What? Then you're just, you gatekeeping the tag team division. Is that what you're doing? You know what I mean?
Whole.
And then
Yeah.
you what? You split up. One of them turns on the other, and they just flip it and just keep on rocking.
No, maybe they hold him for a couple months, make a couple teams look good, and then they eventually drop to a young up and coming team that is good. Uh, Maybe when Dante Martin comes back, top flight.
I don't understand the hype for that team, honestly.
Hmm.
Like you say that, I just think like formerly known as AEW Dark, just out there, just flipping around, that ain't it for me. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I want some Dudley Boy shit. I want some Edge and Christian stuff. I want some like Hardy Boys back in the Dizzy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want that. I want that FTR stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, I don't know why I went on that tangent. I'm sorry. I don't hate that tag team. I'm just like I don't see what the big deal is.
Because the thing is, they on the microphone, their personalities haven't connected with the audience yet. They haven't had much of a chance to. Injuries have just plagued the two of them, unfortunately. In
Yeah,
the
that is the
ring,
worst part.
they are a lot of fun to watch. I feel like they surpassed the Bucks. I mean, the ring psychology is kind of similar in that there isn't a ton of it, and I hope guys like Malenko and well, Regal's not there anymore, but like I hope guys like Malenko and Tully, if he's still back there, and Jake can like get their ear and really um help them out and be like, all right, so you know how to work a body part, right? All right, so do that. Work a body part.
They do great shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not
Hmm.
saying they're not athleticisms you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just there's a lot. Look, man, Cirque du Soleil. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like let's go. Like,
I get
I'm
it.
sorry. Like, there's a lot
That's
of people that could do that, but you got to wrestle. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
No, I get it.
And
They're young.
I know I can't do any of that shit. I'm just so like it's pretty copy pasta. You know what I mean? You can do it just if I go to create a wrestler, just pick style number 47. There you go, you got it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of tag teams, um let's talk about a whole unit of teams, I guess. I guess Damage Control is a unit, right?
Mm, mostly.
Mostly. Bailey, she took the L at Survivor Series War Games after
Just. Mm-hmm.
yes,
I was
yes.
gonna say I was gonna jump in. Despite her best efforts at breaking up every single pin attempt on all her teammates, she finally got worn down, ate a manhandle slam through the table, I believe, for the 3.
Yeah, it was brutal. There's really nothing she could do. She felt alone. And then SmackDown happened. And
Mhm.
SmackDown saw Bianca Belair. She's out there on her own against the world right there.
Mm,
And then the world came. And then came Shotzi and Charlotte. But listen,
mhm,
Damage Control was there, but Bailey wasn't with Damage Control because no
mhm,
one told her because they were upset because the upper hand was not had by them because
mhm.
Bailey wasn't around. So
Also,
now
Bailey started the War Games match, so
that's
she
right.
was certainly the most tired of her team.
Well, yeah, she's got the most experience, I believe, of her team. If you would.
Probably Asuka.
Oh yeah, Oscar, that's
Regardless.
right.
Mhm.
Out of the original Damage Control members,
Yeah.
before newly added Oscar, who, you know, technically in Damage Control, but yes, like Bailey, you know, second most senior in there with all the experience, whatever. But she's the leader, she's the
Mhm,
role model for now.
mhm,
I think something's going on here. It was after the main event, which saw Bianca Belair wrestle Kyrie Sane, but
mhm.
they told Bailey to stay back there,
Yup.
and they went out there. And then Charlotte and Shotzi were out there, and then there was shenanigans. Rich Riz, there was a leg pull by the faces to counteract a leg pull by the heels
Mhm.
on Bianca. Only the faces, they ain't too good at cheating. And the referee, he's like, "You two guys, you get out, you get the hell on out of
You're
here."
out of here.
And then he turns around, he's Asuka. He's like, "What are you doing here? You're all getting out of here. You get out of here." And then they're
Just
all out of
ring
there.
dancing.
Yeah, like a crazy person. You get out of here.
I love Asuka.
Just get out.
Mhm.
And then Bailey comes.
I
And
don't know if she came through the crowd, but she certainly wasn't spotted by the ref on her way down.
right, but she was there. But
Correct.
she wasn't there enough to stop what would happen.
She
Kyrie
tried.
still lost. Yes,
She
she
tried.
tried.
She pulled Bianca's hair while the ref was checking on Kyrie. She pulled Bianca down by her braid on the apron, and she's like, "Oh, go, 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 go! Get up there, hit the
I would
thing."
say that was quite foolish of her, Rich Riz, to do that because Bianca Belair doesn't like that shit.
Mm.
She may have angered
She powered
her.
up.
I think she powered up and gave her just what she needed
Mm.
to get the job done. So that's another mark on the ledger of Bailey.
Hmm.
And also, Kyrie Sane lost her first singles match back. Welcome back, Kyrie Sane. It's a little confusing. She's a heel, but she takes the time to get her gimmick wheel to do the spinny thing to the people. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like,
That's
She's
not
just
heelish.
too friendly.
Mhm.
You know,
So
she's got to be stopped from like shaking hands with people and taking
yeah.
selfies with them.
hmm
She's just such a good person.
hmm The gimmick thing, it's still a little more over the top than it needs to be. The less over the top her pirate gimmick gets, the more I
I
like
love
it.
the pirate princess.
Right?
Aye.
Like I like the concept of it, but tone it down. It's at 14. Let's bring it to like a 9 or a 10.
Yeah.
All right, so it was at 14. Let's say it's a 12 and a half now. It's got to come back more.
All right. Well, we'll just take those notes and just put that down there. Now, here's my question. I have a problem.
hmm
You might be asking, Jared, what could your problem be?
Yeah,
What's the problem? What's the big deal?
sure
Out
problem,
with
man.
it. What is what the what?
What is your problem?
Well,
What's the
my
matter with you?
problem, Rich, what's the matter with me is that War Games is supposed to be the end of the goddamn feud. And the first thing Bianca says is she's not done with damage control.
So the she said she's not done with damage control because she's coming for EO because
Yeah,
she wants EO's title.
true, true.
So it's more of I'm coming for the title.
Okay.
See, it's tough to be done with all
You're
the
not
members.
done with damage control because you're going after EO, and damage control protects EO Sky, which is the championship's owner. Got it.
Right. Now,
Math.
had damage control won, then it would have been over. Like if Bianca would have come out and said, "I'm not done with damage control," damage control would come out and said, "Yeah, you are. You lost. Ha ha. Back in the line."
I tentatively don't accept this. I tentatively don't accept this.
hmm
But I'm not saying what you're saying is not what they're going with.
hmm
I'm saying I don't accept. I don't. I don't accept. It might be what they're feeding me,
hmm
but I do not accept because War Games is supposed to be the end.
Well, as Billy Corgan once said, "The end is the beginning. Is the end."
Well, there is an end and a beginning. The end of the speculation as to who Shinsuke Nakamura has been cryptically referring to, and the beginning of the Shinsuke Nakamura Cody Rhodes feud. Bet you didn't think I was going to pull that out of nowhere.
Hmm.
Holy cow. And I did, Rich. So I think automatically every Japanese wrestler who's a heel has to miss, right? Like it's just the way it is.
hmm
That's how they make their intentions known. The red mist chosen by Shinsuke is there a reason for this? Is it because it's Raw? Is it because this is a blood feud now? What's going on? Actually, this is pretty cool. So basically, Shinsuke Nakamura is saying that his story is a mirror of Cody's story. Nakamura won the Royal Rumble, but he lost at Mania. Cody won the Royal Rumble, but he lost at Mania. He intends on taking Cody's story as his own so he could finish his own story instead. How's that for some compelling shit?
Someone that watches more Japanese wrestling than I do, please let me know if I'm wrong down below in the comments. But I think that each color just kind of represents either a different part of the feud or just some other kind of emotion or aspect. As we know, some of them sting the eyes, some of them blind temporarily. This was, I think, just done as to send a message that I can hurt you and I will hurt you. Asterisk, even though he couldn't hurt someone with a broken back well enough to take their title in a what was it, Falls Count Anywhere match or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
But that's not neither here nor there because he's on Cody now, and Cody's
yeah.
fully healthy. And if he couldn't beat up
Cody's a goddamn superhero.
Yeah, and if he
Like,
couldn't beat
it's
up
like
someone with a broken back, then what's he doing going after
this
someone
is
healthy?
like
But that's what he's doing.
This is like the Joker going after Superman at this point. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's you going after Homelander. Maybe not Superman. We'll lower the power level a little bit. You're going after Homelander.
Lower
Doesn't
the
make
moral
any
level too
sense.
by
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. So fine, I guess. Could it be because Brock would wrestle Cody before he'd wrestle Shinsuke Nakamura? You know, they've got a little bit of a history.
Mhm.
So could be anything. It doesn't really match up. Why the GTS though? Why would you do a GTSs? Was it to like swerve everybody?
Could be that.
We changed our mind. You're feuding with Cody now. Okay.
Yeah. Hard to say. Could have just been part of the messaging. Maybe Shinsuke's just using it now. Maybe he got Kenta's okay,
Dude,
or
I just
maybe he did it sort of just on a whim, and then they're like, "Listen, you can't do that because we got a cancer coming back."
are you ready for like what could make like the internet explode?
Yes, please.
The next time AEW has to go head to head with NXT, and
Mhm.
it's not just that.
Mm.
CM Punk. So CM Punk on NXT up against Dynamite. CM Punk versus Braun Breaker on an NXT. Can you make Ilya Dragunov versus CM Punk for the NXT Championship versus Dynamite?
Can we get that? I feel like that's probably one of the best. I don't actually want CM Punk to get injured. I just don't want him.
See how I trapped you? You're like, Celia, I
Yeah.
don't want him near him. But do I?
So I definitely don't want Ilya to get hurt. If someone has to get hurt, I'd rather it be Punk. I want it to be Punk. Between Punk and Ilya.
Disclaimer on the bottom: this is a comedy podcast. We don't necessarily wish any kind of harm on anybody ever. Just so you
Right.
know.
Right. Realistically, I don't want anyone to get hurt. I don't want NXT time wasted on Phil.
But they would do that shit, right?
Yeah.
Like if they had to go dead, it's like okay.
Yeah, they would. Uh I don't know. I kind of feel like they might not necessarily need to. I still think that NXT is in more homes being on USA than Dynamite is on TNT.
I wonder what they're gonna do once they go to the CW. Like, what are they gonna do to launch that? You know what I mean? They always do it big.
Mhm. That they do.
They're gonna have to do, and it's not just that bonanza. They're gonna have to pull out all the stops. I think. Um, that's what I feel.
Dynamite, Battle of the Belts, and some other thing that they do with the special name show. Arthur Ashe.
Diamond Dallas Page is gonna be there, and it's not just that. Stevie Ray, one half of the Harlem Heat, will
Mhm.
be there to throw out the first pitch or ring the bell or something. It's not just that. Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner, they're going to wrestle FTR. You know, don't even bother looking
I'd
at that.
watch that.
Yeah, I would too. Can they still go? Actually, wait, that
That's a
wouldn't
good
happen.
question.
That wouldn't happen. Never mind. Like, there was some incident, Rick Steiner, and, AEW tends to stay away from controversial people.
Yet Punk for so long.
Yeah, but not controversial and is with isms and phobes and things like that. You know what I mean? Like it was a whole
Just
yeah.
suing his best friend.
You know how society is. They'll care more about like you
The
being mean to
isms.
somebody than like suing your best friend. I cannot get over that. Like I just don't it does not even I don't understand.
Mhm.
How is that possible? If you're out there and you give me this podcast interview, right? And all this or whatever, like a rising tide lifts all boats or whatever. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like, why couldn't you just like how hard is it to like take your friend with you? I don't understand that. That just blows me like apart right there. Like my head
Mhm.
explodes. I guess they weren't that much close friends then. I guess it's just bullshit.
Phil shit.
It's Phil shit.
There you
It's
go.
Phil shit. We don't want to close on a negative. Randy's back, and apparently there was a bidding war, Rich Deriz, that we weren't aware of.
I didn't hear any bidding.
Yeah, not at all. It was
Mhm.
basically like, listen,
Well, the bid was I can give you a world title match. Oh, I'll give you the bloodline.
which is like, well, that's kind of what I want, and
Mhm.
I could still kind of get a title match out of that. So
Absolutely.
it's win-win.
Mhm.
And he RKO'd Nick Aldis. He RKO'd Jimmy Uso so hard that there's video online.
Mhm.
He's there while they're breaking down the ring. Like he's just laying there, they're just rolling him around and stuff. They had to like move him off just so they could finish getting that off and just left him there.
That's great. That's good sell.
It's he got back at him. He definitely got back at him. Randy did,
Mhm.
and now he's after all of them. And
If they wanted us to believe it, though, they would have brought out a stretcher and brought him out.
yeah, Paul Heyman, I gotta talk to you, brother. No one can hear you. He's out there. The crowd is going crazy.
Mhm.
How are you gonna call Roman Reigns and be rude as fuck to him? Because then you're gonna be going to him. What? What? You're not gonna be able to hear anything with them screaming like that. What are you doing?
So,
There's got to be another way to just be like, I'm gonna call, just go, I'm gonna call Roman Reigns. They know what they mean by that. Don't be like, call Roman Reigns and let everybody know you're calling Roman Reigns because we know you're not calling Roman Reigns 'cause he's not gonna hear you.
so it's not even that. It's call Roman
Yeah,
Reigns.
I think if you don't say it the right way, it'll just not get it.
Yeah.
Like he has to get it exactly.
So something I noticed today while watching SmackDown
What's that?
was, in a way, Heyman is the way he delivers his promos now is a little more of a caricature of himself back in the day. You know how wrestlers talk, and in wrestler speak, there's always a pause to let the fans absorb what you just said,
Mm,
which is where they started inserting the whats, right?
yeah.
Now, Heyman does something similar but different. He simply talks slower in every sentence, not necessarily leaving a noticeable gap, just overall slower.
Oh, I thought it's because he thinks we're stupid, and it's really helpful to me that he does that.
So that could be part of the reasoning why he's doing it, but it's interesting. Like it doesn't quite leave room for a what, but I don't know. I noticed it today, and I'm still kind of just because obviously he's been talking like that for a while. I just no, I just like really realized it and said, wait a second, this isn't how he used to talk back in the day.
Hmm.
So I wonder if someone said something to him. I wonder if he's given a certain amount of time and he's like, okay, say less in this amount of time. How am I going to do that? I just drag it out a little.
Well, sometimes you got to evolve. Maybe
Hmm.
you wanted to evolve, you know? So, speaking of evolving, Richard, is this
It's a mystery.
podcast? Yeah, actually, evolution is technically a mystery because, according to Motorhead,
That's right.
it is,
All right, Flemmy.
and that's right, sir. And this podcast is rated R for really closed, I think. Rich, what wow, wrestling's been great to us, and
Mhm.
looking forward to more of that and what Punk does and what he doesn't do, which he's going to be on SmackDown apparently next Friday.
Yeah,
So
next Friday, that's also the Tribute to the Troops episode.
that's true. Interesting that they're actually going to do a tribute to the troop that's actually like a show to watch. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like usually it's pre-taped, or some such.
Yeah, well, they're not actually going overseas anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're not going
Mhm.
overseas anymore. So
They're going to like Fort Bragg or whatever. I don't know if
yeah,
it's Fort Bragg. That's the only one that came to my
you
mind.
just brought up Fort. All right, it's okay.
Mhm.
It's all right. It's better than the Fort that I was gonna bring in. Rich, there is. So thanks, buddy. Thank you for being here. Thank you everybody for coming to the podcast. Um, help.
Yep. So thank you guys for liking and subscribing and listening. Thanks for being here. Comments below. Let us know what you thought of Damage Control, of Cancer Man Phil, Randy's return, speculation on any and all of those goings on. Will Bailey be kicked out of Damage Control? What, or will it just be, I don't know. Just let us know what you think. And with all that said, Jer's got a party message.
The match of life is scheduled for one fall. So make it count.
And do what the man says.
Follow the bookers. Ah!